Good evening friends, welcome to my channel. If you are new to this channel, please do like and subscribe my channel and press on bell icon so you will be get notified whenever I post a new videos. So today we are going to discuss how we can copy multiple tables data from SQL tables to the Azure Data Lake storage by using parameterized datasets in Azure Data Factory. So let's say we have one database which contains multiple tables like address, customer address, product model, and as per our requirement we want to copy all these tables data from SQL database to the Azure Data Lake storage. But while writing data into the destination, we want to create some folder dynamically and we want to copy specific tables data into the respective folder, like customer data goes into the customer folder and something like that. So we want some kind of format, like in our container we want table name, then year, then month, then date, and inside that folder we want our actual file. So let's say we are copying data for the customer table. So inside our container we want customer folder, inside customer folder we want 2023, inside that we want month folder, then inside that we want date folder, and inside that folder we want our actual file like customer.txt. So let's see how we can implement this by using Azure Data Factory. So let me open the Azure portal. uh, First, keep in mind that if your source and destination both are different, then you need at least two link service. Why two link service? Because one link service allow us to make a connection with our source data store, and second link service allow us to make a connection with our destination data store. Again, if structure of data in your source and destinations are different, then again you need two data sets. One data set is pointing to the source, second data set is pointing to the destination. Now let's compare this with our scenario. So as per our requirement, we want to copy data from SQL database to the Azure Data Lake storage. So in this case, our source and destinations both are different. Our source is SQL database and our destination is Azure Data Lake storage. So in this case, we need two link service. So one link service allow me to make a connection with SQL database, and second link service allow me to make a connection with Azure Data Lake storage. So let's create two new link service. So go to the manage tab, click on link service and click on create new and search for SQL database because our source is SQL, and click on continue. Now give any meaningful names, link service underscore SQL DB underscore source, and then scroll down, select server name. Our server name is this one. Select the database, give the username and password. Now click on test connection. Okay, our connection is successful. Now click on create button. So our one link service is ready. Now let's create another link service. So again click on new, search for data lake because our destination is ADLS. Click on continue, give any meaningful name, link service underscore ADLS underscore destination. Now scroll down, select storage account name. Our storage account name is this one. Now click on test connection and click on create button. So our tolling service is ready. So now again our structure of the data of source and destination both are different. Our source is database tables and our destination is like, in our destination we want to store data in CSV format. So again we need two data sets. One data set which will point to our source data, and second data set which will point to our destination. So let's create two data sets. So to create the data sets, go to the author tab, go to the data sets, click on three dots, and click on new dataset. Search for SQLDB. Select Azure SQL database and click on continue. Now give any meaningful name, dataset underscore SQLDB underscore source. Now select link service. Link service is this one. Now in the table name, select none because we want to copy data from multiple tables. So if we select any table name from here, then our dataset is always pointing to that table only. And when we run our pipeline, then it will copy data from this table only. But we want to copy data from multiple tables, then we can't select table name from here. So select none here and click on OK button. Now again create another datasets. So again click on three dots, click on new datasets, search for data lake, click on continue. Now in this window select delimited text because in our destination we want to save data in CSV format. So select delimited text and click on continue. Now give any meaningful name, datasets underscore ADLS underscore destination. Select link service. Now in the file path just select landing container only because we want to create the folder dynamic inside the container based on our table name. So don't select any specific folder, just select landing container only and click on OK button. So select first row is header and click on OK. So now we are done with our link service and datasets. And now we have one dataset. So we have one SQL dataset. So open the datasets. This is related to SQL database. Now I want to create parameter for the datasets. Why parameter? Because we want to copy multiple tables data from SQL database by using for each activity. So if we want to copy data from multiple tables by using for each activity, then we can't pass table name hard coded. Because if we pass table name hard coded, then it doesn't matter how many times your pipeline runs. It will copy data for that table only. So instead of this, what we can do is we can make our dataset parameterize, which will allow us to pass the table name dynamic from the pipeline itself. So let's create parameters. So go to the parameters, click on new, give any name, schema name, and then table name. Now again go to the connection, click on edit, click on first text box, click on add dynamic content and select schema name, then OK. Now go to the second text box, click on add dynamic content, select table name and then click on OK. Now our first dataset is ready. Now go to the second dataset, which is our ADLS. Again in this datasets, I want to create parameter, which will allow me to give the folder path dynamic. So if you remember, then we want to copy dataset. We want to copy our data in specific folder as per our table name. In that folder, we want to create dynamic. So let's create parameter. And we use this parameter to create that folder dynamics. So again go to the parameters, click on new, give any name to the parameter, folder path, again go to the connection, click on directory text box, click on add dynamic content, select folder path and then click OK. So now we are done with our datasets and link service. So let's create pipeline. So to create the pipeline, go to the pipeline, click on three dots and then create new pipeline. Now give any pipeline name for each example. Now go to the activities window and search for each activity. Just click and drag it into the canvas. Now this time we are going to use for each activity. So let's first understand what is for each activity. So for each activity in Azure Data Factory is similar to the for and for each in any programming language, or we can say it's a repeating control which is used to iterate over a collection and execute specified activities in a loop. In for each activity, we provide list of values on which for each will iterate. So let's see in the pipeline. So click on for each activity. Now give any name. Copy all tables data. Now go to the settings. Here we can see the items. So this property needs to provide the list of items on which you want to run. So let's provide the items. So click on add dynamic content. So how we can give the items? Actually, we need to create an array. So here we have one function called create array. Go to the function and search create array. This one, and we can read the definition of create array. Creates an array from the parameters. So click on it, which is used to create an array. So select it. Inside this, we can pass the value. So let's pass our table name here. So we are passing our table name customer, then customer address, then product and product model, and then address. Now click on OK. So this will create an array with 5 elements. Why I create array? Because by default for each activity takes an array. So for each needs an array. So whatever value you will be passed in this array will becomes the item of our array. So now as per our array, our for each activity will runs 5 times, one for each value in the array. Now what we want to do with this for each activity? We want to copy the tables data. So we will use copy activity inside these for each activity. So again go to the activities tab and then click on edit. So we are inside the for each example, and now search for copy activity, copy data activity. Just click and drag it into the canvas. Now give any meaningful name, copy each table data. Now let's understand the importance of the parameterized datasets. So while creating the datasets, if we select any table name from that drop down, then our dataset will becomes the constant dataset, and whatever number of times our pipeline will runs, it will always copy the data from that tables only. Why? Because our dataset is constant. So this makes sense only if I make my dataset as generic or dynamic. That's why I create the parameters which will takes the table name dynamic. So go to the source and select our datasets ds underscore SQLDB source. So now imagine for the first time I provide the table name as product, then it will run for the product. If for the second iteration I provide the customer, then it runs for the customer table, and so on. So let's give table name dynamically. So how we can give the table name dynamically? Click on the text box and click on the add dynamic content. Here you can see the option for each iterator, which will provide us the current item. Current item means when you run this loop, first time this item will gives you the customer. Why? Because my first item in array is customer. When that loop runs second time, automatically this at the rate items, value is giving you the value as customer address, and so on. So now you can see that automatically when this pipeline runs first time, the table name will come out as customer, and when our pipeline will run second time, then table name will come out as customer address, then product model, and then address. So click on OK. And for this schema name, I am giving sales LT is by default because whenever I create my database, uh, I add some sample database in it. Let me show you. Okay, so let me expand the tables. So if you see, then my table name is start with sales80 dot address, sales80 dot customer, sales80 dot customer address, something like that. So my schema name is fixed. That's why I'm assigning schema name as sales80 as a constant, but we are defining table name as dynamic. So now we are done with our source, and we are able to get the table name dynamic. Let's go to the sync. Now, as you remember, then we want to copy data into the specific folder in the destination. Like customer data should go into the customer folder, the product data should go into the product folder, like that, right? So when you in real time scenario, when you go for the real world project, then nobody will going to save the file into this same folder. It's not a right way. You have to customize it, like data should go into this respective folder. So let's see how we can implement it. So go to the sync, select the data sets which we have created for the destination, this one. Now we are going to give folder path dynamic. So again, click on add dynamic content. Now we have one function, string function called @concat. So select it. Inside that, if you remember, then we want to create folder something like first we want table name. So we are getting the table name from this for each iterator. So just select current item. It will give us the table name. Then again, I want separator. Then there is one function called format date time. So let me search format date time, this one. In the format date time, I am passing UTC now function. Let me search UTC now. UTC now returns the current timestamp as a string. So from the UTC now, we want only year part, because if you remember, we want table name, then inside table name we want year. So from the UTC now, we are extracting only year part. Again, I want separator. Then again, I want date from the UTC now. Sorry, month from the UTC now. So copy it and again here replace with Then again, I want separator. Then again, I want date from the UTC now. So we are done with our folder creation. So now click on OK button. Now we are almost done with our pipeline. So let's first validate our pipeline. If there is any error, then our validation got failed. So just click on validate. It is validating our pipeline. So we can see that your pipeline has been validated and no errors were found. So our validation got passed. So let me first go to the ADLS storage. Let me go to the Azure Data Lake storage. Opening the Azure Data Lake storage. Inside this, we have same folder. So let me delete first. So I am going to delete address, customer address, product and product model. Delete it. Okay, so folder is deleted. Now let me run the pipeline. So just click on debug button and let's wait for some time. So we can see status as a queued. Let's wait for some time. Okay, so we can see our status is succeeded. So let's first monitor our pipeline. So let's first check what we got into the for each activity. So inside for each activity, we got item count as 5 because we give 5 table names into the array. So our for each activity will run 5 times, and we can see there is 5 activities running. And here we can see there has been 5 pipelines got executed successfully. So let me go to the Azure Data Lake storage, and we can see a folder get created or not. So let me refresh this. We can see address, customer address folder get created inside the data lake storage, customer address, and product model and product. So let me open one folder. Address. Inside this we have one folder 2023. Inside this we have folder 01, and inside this we have folder called 03, and inside this we have our actual file. So we have successfully copied data from SQL tables to Azure Data Lake storage by using parameterized datasets. So if you like this video, then please give thumbs and do subscribe my channel. It motivates me to create new videos for you. Thanks for watching this video. See you in next video.